Hi guys, in today's video I thought we would do something a little bit different to normal, so I'm not going to make a cake, but today I'm going to watch one of my old YouTube videos, one of my first ones. I don't say, would you say it's one of my first ones? We're going to watch the Snow White face cake today, and I thought I'd review it, see if there's anything I would do differently if I was doing it again, especially because I've been doing it a while since I made the Snow White cake. I was thinking about doing a revised new version of it, but I've not watched this one since I made it. In fact, I don't even know if I watched it when I made it. Kind of a bit nervous about this one, guys. She's actually one of my most popular videos. I think maybe even my second most popular video that I've got on YouTube. But I do remember I did get some not very nice comments. I'm not going to read the comments, I don't think. I get less bad ones on the videos nowadays. But yeah, let's watch it, see what we'd do differently. Yeah. I forget there's adverts on the beginning of videos. But guys, if you watch the adverts instead of skipping them, then we can make a tiny bit of money off them. Tiny bit. Okay, so I'm starting with a template, which I would still do now. I'd still do that the same way to help me make a cake. You don't have to use a template, but it certainly helps get everything to the right proportions. In this case, it obviously was a children's face mask image that I downloaded. And I still do the same thing generally now, in that I will print the template to match the cake that I know I want to use. And I know a lot of people ask in the videos, like, oh, what size cake should I use and what size template should I do? Decide yourself what kind of number of proportions you want. And then if you know, like, you know, they say you only need 10 portions, you know that you're only going to need a small cake, and then you would print your template according to the size cake. Or if you want to feed 30 people, you know, you're going to have a bigger cake, you can print a bigger template. Usually I'm limited to A4 size, so sometimes I have to print the template over more than one page. My buttercream actually looks really thick in this video. And I can tell I baked the cake. Well, in fact, I even say there's a recipe below the video. You guys that watch my videos now will know I don't often bake my cakes anymore. I used to bake everything because I used to do customer cakes. This one wasn't a customer cake. This was one I just did for YouTube for fun. But yeah, I used to bake them all now. I've got really lazy and I buy them ready-made. I buy them from Sweet Success, but they're really handy for the videos. I still have that knife. So covered the whole thing in buttercream, which is fine. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I use ganache now. It depends. For this particular type of cake, if I was doing it again, I would probably still use buttercream because it doesn't need to be ultra sturdy. However, I would probably make sure my buttercream was a little bit softer because it was really difficult to spread. And I think I remember that actually some of the bad comments I got were about that, from what I remember. It's years ago that I did this video. In fact, just looking now, how old is this video?
I think this cake predates your use of ganache.
Yeah, I didn't used to use ganache. 8 years ago. I said 8 years ago I made this cake. It depends on what the cake's going to look like at the end. Like, if I know it doesn't matter and I'm going to be able to smooth over, or I'm doing something like fur effect with a lot of texture, then it doesn't really matter to me if my buttercream or even ganache is super smooth underneath. But often it is better to smooth your buttercream right down. The neater the underneath, if you are covering it in fondant, you're gonna get a neater coverage, definitely. But if I were doing this again, maybe we should redo this, or even a doll cake of this. I would make sure my buttercream was softer, so I would whip it up for longer, or even heat it in the microwave, or I would add less icing sugar to butter, or even like a splash of water or a splash of milk into my buttercream, just to make it a little bit softer for spreading. I still use pre-coloured icing as well. I don't always use the same brand, but I will always link below the video what I've used in the video, or at least I try when I remember to do it. My intention is always to do it. Dark colours are so difficult to dye yourself. They is just way easier to buy them ready-made. But yeah, this will turn your mouth black, definitely. So the cake looks so tiny, doesn't it? It just looks like Darth Vader. Maybe I should do Darth Vader cake the same way as this one. So it's a pale skin tone, this one. So I think the food colouring has got a different name now.
I think it used to actually be called, it was called skin tone, wasn't it? And now it's called, is it honey, pink honey?
So if you're looking for that same food colouring, it's called pink honey. The colour is pink honey for that one now. So I still do find this the easiest way to do it, where I cut out each eye, mouth, etc., just so that when I'm making a new one, I know it's the same shape. And I keep hold of the template still for positioning. The nose isn't so nice in this one. I think if I was doing this again, the nose I would have maybe added like an extra bit of buttercream under where the nose is going to go before I add the fondant, or even like a lump of modelling chocolate. In fact, do you know what, if I was doing it again, I might even change for modelling chocolate instead of fondant. And her face kind of sticks out more than her hair because of the order I put it on. If I was doing this again, I would put the face on first and then her hair afterwards, so that the hairline goes over the top of the face. I think it would be better that way around. I'd be interested actually to know, guys, how many of you followed this tutorial and made this cake? I remember at the time it was quite popular, quite a few people did it. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you guys have had a go at this one. I could have probably used a slightly smaller brush. I didn't own as many brushes for my cake decorating 8 years ago as I do now. Now I've thousands of the things. Adding pink cheeks, still my favourite thing to do to like every character that I make. Again, if I was doing it again now with her teeth, instead of sticking it on over the top of that pale skin colour, I would have maybe cut out a little piece, removed that, and then put the white in. Obviously, the more layers we put of fondant on, the thicker it is.
I did see somebody comment saying your Snow White's got Kylie Jenner lips?
Is that Botoxy?
I think so.
You drink a Botox lips. I followed the template. So obviously these lips look stuck on because the face is so flat and then the lips are just stuck on. Again, if I'd done this more recently, I would have probably put something under the face or even carved the shape of the faces. Everything is very flat on this one, which is fine. You know, it was a very simple cake. I think now maybe I would have sculpted the whole face a little bit more, so that instead of it being completely flat, you know, we had a bit of shape, and then the mouth area could kind of stick out a little bit more. But when doing the lips, it's still very important on a cake or a model, is that they're thicker in the middle parts and they come thin at each side, and that's the same for top and bottom, and that's an important thing to remember. Which brings me shamelessly to plugging my own book. So if you do want to hit some tips on making faces, not face cakes in here at all, but I can't really show you this from this angle, can I, guys? But I have now got out my own figure making book. In there, it's mainly making cake toppers to figures of different people, but there's lots of hints and tips on making mouths, eyes, faces, so similar kind of tips in there, but lots more in there. My lips were a little bit untidy, I think, when I did this. Oh, I'm adding more hair. So actually, it looks like this will go over the skin on her face anyway. So how I said earlier, I just swapped it around. I've obviously realised when I was doing this that her hair did need to still stick out and go beyond her face. It's very thick. I put it on very thick. Sometimes I put it on thick when I'm being a bit lazy now and for ease. But mainly it gets picked off and no one eats it. Or alternatively, I could have just put more cake on in that bit. I'm not sure I needed to fully mark out exactly where the bow went, but you know, I hadn't been doing it that long at this stage, and I was worried about not getting everything in the exact right place. Now I've realised no matter how much I mark things out, they're never in the exact right place. As long as it looks okay, then I don't always mark everything. I know it's a short video, this one, but I feel like maybe I used to be more descriptive in these videos, my old ones, than what I am now. Like this one, I picked a short video. Some of my old ones are really long. Let me know, guys, in the comments below. Do you prefer my videos where I am going through it step by step, showing you every bit of detail, explaining everything I'm doing? Or do you guys prefer them where they're a bit more entertainment and I kind of fast forward bits and just give you a brief description of each thing? Okay, so far the eyes do not look great. But they're not finished yet. Maybe I'm going to surprise myself and do something to neaten them up afterwards. I think it looks like I couldn't find the right brown food colour. Doesn't look quite the colour of the picture, does it? But okay, they're being neatened up with the black eyelashes and the eyelids on there. Okay, it's not looking as bad as what I was expecting. I was actually dreading watching this. I mean, it's very plain, very simple, isn't it? There's not a lot of detail on this one. I wish I'd done something with the board. The board looks very, not messy, but there's just unfinished, isn't it, with the silver on the board. That was me being lazy because I not made it for anyone, just for a video. I obviously decided not to bother with the board. Okay, and then the video just suggests 2 more at the end. Nick, is it Nick Wilde? From Zootopia, I enjoyed that one. I think I still like the Zootopia ones I did. And then the Tiana. from Princess and the Frog. I would, if I was going to do one again, I would probably do Tiana again, because again, one of my most popular videos was the Tiana doll cake, but don't need this on her. Yeah, looking at her, she could definitely do with a bit more work to neaten up her face and things. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, guys. Do you want to see more videos like this one where we have a look through the old ones and what we'd do differently? Or would you like to see me go through some of these old videos and actually just remake them so that we've got a newer version? I think hopefully I've progressed over the last 8 years from when this one was online. I think I have.
Camera guy's got a question.
Okay. Do you notice the camera guy's not actually behind the camera, it's next to me?
Snow White with a new upcoming live action film. Would you try and go for a more realistic Snow White to portray
You know
the film?
what? Like, I know I have occasionally done realistic cakes. So you guys won't have really seen me do any on here, because I did a Stranger Things one, but I haven't actually got around to putting it on YouTube yet, which I really do need to do still. I prefer cartoony. I like cartoony. I think it's great because if I'm doing something for YouTube, it's often because you guys want to have a go at making your own at home. Sometimes it's, you know, sometimes I'll put stuff out there just because, you know, I'm gonna make it anyway, so I'm gonna film it. Like I've done some for some film premieres, and they're big cakes, so I thought you guys would like to see them being made. But a lot of them, well, there's an aeroplane going over now, I apologize. A lot of them, guys, I try and do something that I think you can make for yourself or your own child at home or your a relative. So like this one was very simple, easy for you to do because it's cartoony. When you go realistic, it's a little bit harder because if you don't get it looking right, it doesn't look like it's supposed to if it's realistic. So for me, I'm gonna say I would prefer to do a cartoon one. And you guys let me know if we were to do another Snow White video, a face cake. See, I think face cakes, because they're so flat at the back and they don't stick out a lot, they're difficult to make look like real people. Yeah, let me know guys, realistic or cartoony, which do you prefer? And I know not everybody likes fondant as well, guys. I am going to try and make more effort to do more buttercream or just ganached cakes rather than fondant covered. But for me, I can do a lot more work with fondant decorating and stuff. But maybe I should swap more to modelling chocolate as well, guys. Right, anyway, I am going to get going. I have talked long enough in this video for you guys. Yeah, I'll see you next time.